Let me tell you something that most men get completely backwards. When a woman seems uninterested, the instinct is to do more, text more, try harder, show up more consistently, find new ways to prove your value until she finally notices. But here's what psychology actually tells us, and this is the part that changes everything. The harder you chase someone who isn't yet drawn to you, the more you confirm the very dynamic that keeps her uninterested. Because attraction, at its deepest level, is not triggered by pursuit. It is triggered by presence, by the quality of who you are when you are simply, fully, unapologetically yourself. Today, we are not talking about manipulation. We are not talking about tricks or tactics or manufactured mystery. We are talking about something far more powerful, the genuine psychological transformation that makes a person impossible to ignore. Problem. Here is the specific pain I want to speak to. You have felt it. That experience of being genuinely drawn to someone who doesn't seem to feel the same pull, where you can see something between you that she doesn't appear to see yet, where every interaction leaves you wondering what's missing, what you're missing, that would close that gap. And the hardest part is not knowing whether the gap is closable, whether this is a timing issue or a fundamental incompatibility, whether something about how you're showing up is creating distance you could change, or whether you're simply trying to build something on soil that will never grow what you're hoping for. That uncertainty is what today is really about, not how to force attraction into existence, but how to become someone whose presence creates the conditions for it naturally. Development. 1. The fundamental truth: you cannot create attraction, but you can create conditions. Let's establish something important before anything else. You cannot make a specific person desire you through strategy or performance. Attraction is not a mechanism with a guaranteed input-output relationship. It is a response, biological, psychological, emotional, that either develops or doesn't based on a complex set of factors, many of which have nothing to do with you. What you can do is become someone whose presence, energy, and character create the optimal conditions for attraction to develop. Someone who triggers genuine curiosity, someone who communicates, without words, that being near him is a different, richer experience than the ordinary. That is the only honest version of this conversation, and it is genuinely powerful. 2. Stop optimizing for her approval. Start living for your own growth. The single most counterproductive thing a man can do when he wants to attract someone is make her the center of his gravitational field. When everything you do is subtly calibrated toward her response, when you dress differently thinking of her, when you curate your personality around what you imagine she prefers, when your sense of a good day depends on how she responded to your message, she feels it, not consciously always, but in her body something registers. This person needs something from me. And neediness, in the language of attraction psychology, is the opposite of magnetic. What creates genuine curiosity in another person is someone who is deeply, visibly committed to their own life, who has direction, who is growing into something, who finds their interactions with her interesting but doesn't require them to feel whole. That self-directedness is not coldness. It is the most attractive form of warmth because it comes with no hidden invoice. 3. Become genuinely curious about her, without agenda. Here is a shift that changes everything about how you show up in her presence. Stop trying to impress her. Start trying to genuinely understand her. Ask questions you actually want the answers to. Listen in a way that makes her feel like the most interesting person in the room, not because you're performing attentiveness, but because you've made a genuine decision to find her fascinating, to understand what shaped her, what she's working toward, what she believes in ways most people around her don't. Curiosity without agenda, interest that doesn't require anything back, is one of the rarest experiences a person can have in another's company. and it creates a specific response. She starts to find you interesting because you made her feel interesting first. 4. Let her experience who you actually are, not who you think she wants. Most men, when drawn to someone who seems uninterested, make a critical error. They edit themselves. They present a version of their personality they believe is more appealing, more confident seeming, more relaxed, more whatever they've decided she prefers. She feels the performance. Even when she can't name it, something reads as slightly off, as managed, as not quite real. The most disarming thing you can do, the thing that genuinely creates curiosity, is to simply be yourself, your actual opinions, your real sense of humor, your honest interests and values, and the particular idiosyncratic way you see the world. Authenticity is not a vulnerability. In the landscape of attraction, it is a superpower because it is rare, and rare things always get noticed. 5. Build a life that speaks for itself. This is the section most people want to skip because it requires the most actual work, but it is the most important. The version of you that naturally attracts people, that creates genuine desire rather than manufactured interest, is not a version you perform. It is a version you build through pursuing the things that genuinely excite you, through developing real skills and real passions, through friendships that are deep and reciprocal, through a sense of purpose that gets you out of bed in the morning with something to move toward. A man with a full, directed, genuinely lived life carries an energy that no technique can replicate. He doesn't need to manufacture intrigue. His life is already interesting. He doesn't need to perform confidence. He has genuine evidence of his own capability. That fullness shows in how he carries himself, in how he talks about his days. In the quiet, unforced way he inhabits his own existence. Build that life, not for her, for yourself first, and watch how differently people respond to the man that life creates. 6. Give her space to miss you. Here is the practical piece, and it is simple but profound. Consistent, relentless availability removes something essential from the equation of desire, the experience of your absence. People rarely desire what is constantly, unconditionally present. The things we desire have some quality of occasional scarcity, not manufactured game playing, but genuine, natural investment in your own life that means you are not always available, always responsive, always orbiting. When you are genuinely engaged in your own world, and therefore sometimes simply not there, she gets the opportunity to notice what she feels when you're not around, whether she misses the conversation, whether the room feels different without your energy. That noticing is where desire often begins to shift, and you cannot create it through presence alone. 7. Accept the honest outcome and why this matters. Here is the most important thing I can tell you today, and the hardest. Everything we've covered, the genuine growth, the authentic presence, the full life, the real curiosity, all of it makes you more yourself, more grounded, more genuinely attractive to people whose values align with yours. But it does not guarantee this specific person's desire. And that truth deserves to be held honestly. Because sometimes the real answer is not, how do I create attraction here? But am I investing myself in someone whose interest is genuinely available? The work of becoming your best self is always worth doing, but it is worth doing for your life, not as a strategy aimed at one specific outcome with one specific person. When you shift the goal from making her want me to becoming someone worth wanting, everything changes, including often what you're willing to accept. Closing, empowering message. Here is what I want you to carry from today. The man who naturally creates desire in others is not the man who tried hardest to manufacture it. He is the man who invested so deeply in becoming genuinely himself, so fully, so honestly, so consistently, that his presence became something people were drawn to without being able to explain why. That man is available to you, not through tactics, through growth. Start there, build the life, become the person, and let attraction find its own way to what you've created. If today shifted something in how you see yourself and your connections, subscribe. Every week, we go this deep into psychology, attraction, and genuine human growth. I'll see you in the next one. The most attractive version of you is built, not performed.